Namsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows. Find your own voice lit from within. With me today, I have Carol Ann Cooper and Kamau Emma. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you.
Very well, thank
Mm.
you.
Awesome, awesome. Good to have you today, Kamau. We miss you, and the audience misses you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back.
So our topic today is beyond the comfort zone. So how personal growth impacts friendship. So stepping beyond your comfort zone isn't just about personal growth. It's also profound effect our friendship when we push ourselves to try new things and explore different perspective or chase ambitious goals and we inevitable change in our lives if we these changes can ripple through our social cycles, sometimes strengthening bond, while at other times revealing diverging path. Carol Ann, you chose this topic. Would you like to actually explain to our audience what was the motivation of the topic, behind the topic, and if there was something that inspired you, please share.
Thank you. Yes, I the other night I was listening to some music. I'd been in a meditation and I was listening to some music, and it's what this person does is music alchemy, and what he puts together is really you just go somewhere else with it. And I then just found myself thinking about friendships, and one particular friendship that just let's say fell apart. It just stopped, and then other people that I've known where their relationships broke up, and it was just as it was, as I was going on this personal development journey, and I just thought maybe it's something be nice to explore, because a lot of people hear about relationships, marriages breaking up, friendships falling apart, maybe stop themselves from going on this journey of personal development. And others may have been on, started the journey, and all of a sudden relationships are just shifting and changing, and they're sort of going, oh, what's going on here? And so you that loss of friendships that have been there for many years can hit you, so there's things I thought it would be great to discuss. And the one that really stands out to me is when I started on this personal development journey, a friend that I'd known for many years, since my children were very small. We'd been in the same babysitting circles together. That's where we'd met, and we eventually started going keep fit every week, and then we'd go to toning beds every week as well. So became very good friends. And then when I started this journey, personal development, things just fell apart. And I met up with her a couple of years later and said to her, just talking, and she said, yeah, but you disappeared. You went off, she said, and I couldn't follow you. And she said, it's like you disappeared upside your own backside. That's how it was for her. She said, but I was heartbroken. And I was like, wow, I had no idea. And we just talked, and I said, well, I'm sorry, but I couldn't not go on this journey. But when I left, and a while later, sort of started realizing that actually she was saying, and I wasn't in touch with her, we weren't on the phone. And I suddenly thought, but our friendship was never one that was on the phone. We never rang and talked on the phone. When we talked was when we went to keep fit and when we went to toning beds, Um, and that stopped because I wasn't able to, because I was ill for a year. But also going on this journey. So I think there's something I realized there was expectations there, and a realization of not understanding how what I'd done had impacted her, but also her expectations of me and where she'd gone with it. And we've never communicated since to this day. And I mean, that was many years ago. And I still think of her and it still comes back to me and sort of haunts me a bit, you know. And so, yeah, and things similar have happened through the years. So, there, it can happen. So I don't know what you thought when you saw this topic. Has it impacted you in any way, Nomsa or Kamal?
You see, I think it's you sharing that story. It's important to realize that not everybody can follow up with your growth.
Mm.
Whether it's you or anybody going on that self discovery and self development journey, um, it's important to realize that as a human being, you are changing and you are seeking growth and um, a different kind of mentality. And whilst doing that, you forget that subconsciously it impacts you as well, meaning that you automatically, your inner self knows that, okay, well, these friends, maybe if we cut them off, to put it in raw terms, for a bit, it's better for us so that we can move forward, especially if you're really into it and you're seeking that self-development and growth for yourself and for your family, obviously. It impacts not everyone. I mean, not only friendship, but all sorts of relationships. And one tends to forego the niceties of ringing, checking on people, the small acts of showing friendship, like for instance, Facebook messages and oh, happy birthday that everybody does. Everybody has 300, 600, 1,000 friends on Facebook. And every day there's somebody popping up with a birthday and you leave a message, whether you know them very well or they're acquaintances and all of that. And these, for some people, these small niceties and these small gestures uh, begin to seem like a waste of time. At least I'm talking from my personal experience that I stopped doing these happy birthdays on Facebook because they mean nothing to me. Not the people, but the message itself. There's a greater message for me to see that person and tell them, oh, happy birthday. I wish you a wonderful day. How did it go? Are you having a wonderful year? How's it going? And all of that. And so um, I guess it's also a social conduct from my side as well that changes. Your behavior changes, your attitude towards people changes, your definition of what friendship is changes. So I think all of these can impact. And I've stopped communicating with lots of friends of mine. Like I've got a tight group of friends that I grew up with, and we've known each other for 30 odd years. And for the past 5, 6 years, I just shut off. For the past 3 years. I barely contact them, barely say hi, or even a message on WhatsApp and how's it going? All is well. Just doesn't make sense. Not because they're far away, they're in Egypt, obviously, but it's simply that uh, you're my friends. I love you. I'll always love you. We grew up together and we have so many memories, not only just fun times, but lots of stories. I need to go on my path for a bit, and then when the time comes, I'll come back to you and I'll check on you and I'll do all of that. So it does have a sense of for the other side, it does seem like a sort of abandonment, and at the same time, it's I would define it as an undefined abandonment for them, and that hurts. That hurts. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much that. Pretty much the same thing as you, Caroline.
And what I've heard there, the important thing is the communication and being able to communicate to that person or those people. Well, I'm on this journey, or I'm, doesn't mean I'm not thinking of you, or but I think being able to communicate is important. And that was something, because I had no idea. I just started this journey and I was pursuing these different courses and really finding me and finding my whole life just changed. And it never occurred to me because I think I never really understood what friendship meant, what it was. And I know there was a few times when she introduced me to people as her best friend, and it's like, oh, really? I had no idea. No, because I didn't really understand it then. And but certainly communication, being able to communicate what's going on. But the other thing is there are friends who you don't need to communicate that often, and you pick up, and it's okay. And I've got one that I went to I met at college, and that was God 50 odd years ago. And we still keep in touch. And it's mainly just birthday or Christmas. And when we do speak, which is maybe not that often, and she is one that writes more, and I don't necessarily write. So I get letters from her and cards, and I eventually sometimes can remember to send a card. But I realized I prefer to pick up the phone and just talk. So I started doing that now. And so once you have a chat and catch up, and it's just like as if time's never been, and there's nothing, no make wrong or anything, because that's just how it was. But then, of course, it was a different friendship because we met at college. So we didn't see each other for periods of time when we were, the holiday times. And we didn't communicate, but we'd get back to college to have a chat. And then when we left college, it was just Christmas time. We would ring on Christmas Day, but things changed, but we've still maintained that contact. And there's never been expectation of anything different, So, and I have said, right, I said to her this year, and it's in my head now. I really want to ring her and book and say, I'm going to go. Let's meet up. I can go down, where you live. I can meet you. Let's meet up. And I'm really getting a strong sense of that for that particular friend. And I think that follows on me having been in hospital last year and realizing how quickly things can change.
Very
So
true. I think speaking of communication, there's just a funny anecdote that happened to me. Um, Also a growth, but when you're a little bit younger. So it was my last year of high school, and I was practicing like five different martial arts at the same time. And I needed to pick up the pace with my studies and my finals, and I wanted to get good grades, which I hadn't done for several years, or the year before, because like I had some health issues. So, and being young, right? It's sometimes you don't know how to communicate properly. So I gathered my friends on one of those evenings that we usually gather, and I said, okay, look here, guys. I need to focus on my studies. I need to focus on my martial arts. I've only got 2 hours for you per week. That's what I said. I said that verbatim.
oh,
I've only got 2 hours for you. And imagine saying that to a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds, right? That hurts. And especially you grew up together since you were 9, 10. I was like, you've only got 2 hours for us. And so it was a complete shut off from their side, which I didn't mind because I was completely focused in my world, right? And then it took the year, and then the vacation. They said, well, if you don't only have 2 hours for us, then we don't want to see you. I said, fine by me. So I
wow,
focused, I did my studies, did my martial arts, and end of the year came. We were all members of this sports club where lots of sports and family social, almost like a membership club kind of thing. And summer came, and during summertime, usually it's the pool time. You sit in the sun in Egypt and you swim, you have fun and all of that. And then started bumping into each other, and it was hi, hi. And then a few of them started, hey, how you been? How are you studying? Yeah, finished well, got A's and B's, and got this belt, and I did this, and okay, I'll have fun. And then we'd stay not far from each other for a bit. I Either I would go alone or I would go with my sisters, taking care of them. And then with time during that summer, We started, hey, why are you sitting alone? Come and sit with us and blah, blah, blah. And then it started to grow again because it's old friendships, right? So
Mhm.
same thing as you're talking about with your college friend, right? You were together, you're off, and then you're back again. And then sometimes you pick up the phone and you do that. And everybody's different when it comes to communication. And everybody becomes very different when they go through their personal growth parts.
Mm.
And we can't all be alike. And then, I mean, for me personally, my way of communicating things when I was a like teenager, 20, early 20s, wasn't totally right. However, this was my way of saying, I need to focus. You have to understand this.
Mhm.
Very blunt. Uh, Obviously, that's also the ADHD in me talking. And so picking up the phone or sending messages, I get completely lost in what I'm doing, which is not necessarily something nice. However, people tend to not understand that. Um, Nomsa, how is it with you? What do you think about this subject and how we're starting to define it for others?
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. I think people define friendship to them is different than we will expect. Friendship to other people, it means they go out and feeling sorry for each other and gossip and things like that. Meeting every now and then, every often. But for me, with my friends, the friends that I had a long time ago, they're all in the UK from Africa. I still keep in touch with them. Even if we don't speak for a very long time, when they come back to me, I always talk to them. But then the now European friends that are in the UK, their expectations are different. They expect like to hang out all the time, and me, I don't have that time. Sometimes I get told off, I get dumped by friends and to be like, we don't see you very often, so we don't think you fit in the group. So I'm like, okay. Or sometimes if I do have friends, they want to compete with me. So so I'm like, okay, but so I move myself away because I don't like to compete with people. But the friends that I have had for a long time, I see they're part of my family. They're no longer friends anymore. The ones I went to school with, and the ones that I went to school with, because our parents were friends, and they are like a family. So we don't really see each other as friends. We are like a family members. Even if we don't see each other for a long time, we still come back. They'll be like, "Oh, sis Nom signed." I'll be like, "Oh yeah, how are things and stuff?" So we still talk. Our friendship is different. Those that I went to school with, is different than the friends that I have in the United Kingdom. And then you have business friends where you meet them for business, and then you start creating friendship. Those ones, I keep them because they're worth it. We have no expectations. We all have the same mindset. We all know that we are very, very busy. So if we don't see each other, we don't see each other. When we do see each other, we make the most of it. And like Carol Anna was saying, for me, most of my friends, the mindset is not the same. It's like some of them have divorced. They used to have these beautiful relationships, and then they've moved on, they divorce, or some of them they are actually mending their broken heart. So there's laws of going on in people's life. People get busy, life knock you down, and then they disappear, and then they come back. It's all those things about life. But other than that, for me personally, I have good friends. I don't have time for these friends that wants me to give them too much attention. I don't have time for that. The time that I have is I've got time for everyone, but all I know is if I'm not available, it doesn't mean that I don't care for you. I do care for you. And every now and then, if somebody disappears, I always send messages on WhatsApp and see if people are okay. Because sometimes the people, they, life it can push you to just disappear and disconnect with people and just check on them if they're okay, even though they're not into personal development. But we can't hide. Like for me, people, they find me on Gossip Talk Show, so I can't. Most of people, they're like, they disappear, but they follow me on Gossip Talk Show. They are the ones who update me with what I'm doing, like your video, this one and that one. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, they do follow it because the talk shows most like my friends. They're not there, but they're there. They're like they know it's worth it. They know I'm busy. So, but some tell me off, like you don't fit in into this group anymore. So we suggest we don't meet up with you anymore.
And you were able to just say, okay,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
okay with it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be okay, Carol Ann. You can't just because people have different things they expect. So you can't fulfill somebody else's expectations when come. For me, the relationship, you can't hold anyone. I release people. If people come, they come, they go, they go. If they want to come back, they come back. As long we're not fighting or we don't do anything, I never hold anybody back. Like Kamau is saying, he had to be firm to say, listen, I've got to study. And to me, that was the right thing to do. And then people, they hang around. It's like my Geo, my pastor, he has churches around the world. He has universities. He has music, you name it, he has everything. And but he says his friends, they used to give him a nickname of reading books all the time. Yeah, he says they used to give him nicknames. And since then, his friends, they moved on. He's moved on, but they come back now when to help, asking for him to solve problems. Like they will say, oh, because he offered to pray for them before, and they were like, we don't have problems. You go with your God. But now he's like is big, and now they come back, and he says like Kamal that if you have to do what you have to do, you got to do what you got to do. People may not like it, but if it's adding value to your life, just do what you got to do. Because people come and go at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And there's this lovely quote that I remembered the other day. It's people come into your life for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime. And so it's just recognizing, what those people are there for. Some have just come to share a particular part of your life with you, or teach you, or help you learn a lesson. So yeah, I've had people sort of come and go as I've journeyed through this personal development world and finding me and going on different courses. Because you find when you get, like when I was training in brain gym and educational kinesiology, for a long while I was doing those courses, lots of the different courses that there are available in there. Not just the set ones to become an educational kinesiologist. I was doing all the other ones that were there as well in that field, and got to know a lot of people, and they start to sort of become close friends in a way. But then you move to another, and I started moving with the journey, Brandon Bayes, and doing all those courses and meeting people. And there seemed to be a few that were the same as we met up, and then there was NLP, and then there was the Yes Group here in London, which was a follow-on from Anthony Robbins' UPW, Unleash the Power Within course. And, it's a personal sort of development or support group that's here. And I was involved with them for a long while. And then as I kept shifting, these other people sort of would move, and I had to get used to that, because in the beginning I found it really hard. It's like, well, what's going on here? I was really close with them at one point, and now where are they? And now I'm getting to know other people, and I was crewing at one of the Unleash the Power Within sessions many years ago, and I remember sitting in the crew room and looking around and thinking I felt very alone and felt that everybody knew everybody else and everyone was talking and there was just me on my own. And I just sat for a moment and I looked and I realized there were other people that were sitting on their own. And then just as I was focusing on that, someone just came over and sat with me and we started talking. And I started to really become more comfortable with me being me and just finding me and realizing that people will come and talk, or sometimes it's up to me to go and make that first step and go and talk, and recognize when someone's on their own and say, okay, see if they'd like a chat. Or so I think it can help you to understand what other people might be going through when you start realizing what you're going through, and start being a bit more empathetic and stepping up and making that first move. So and I think we really get, like you were saying, Kamal, goes right back to school. And there are people that I think of who were friends, and I still think about them a lot. And when I think back, I think, God, but we were only together for such a short space of time at school. And yet they had such a massive impact on my life. I still remember them, but I'm not in contact with them, you know? So it is recognizing these stages and being able to move on and welcome people that do come in. But I think there's something between friendship and acquaintances. And I remember someone saying to me once, "Oh, they're just an acquaintance." And I was like, "No, they're a friend." But then it got me thinking, well, what is the difference between a friend and an acquaintance? And I started to being able to differentiate a bit more, you know? So, what about you, Kamal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was going to say it's interesting because you were mentioning points that I wanted to bring up to clarify a little bit more
Mm,
to our audience how that how the impact works. Once and you were expressing it in a very fine way. Once we start, or those that start on that journey, um, there's usually what you were talking about, a self-awareness that comes into play. Um,
mm,
you you foster that understanding of your emotions and your strengths and your weaknesses, and obviously allowing you to, depending obviously on your personality, to have a little bit more empathy. Going back to our communication styles and changing that communication styles with
mm.
those that, in a very crude way, those that deserve to be communicated the information with. Not everybody deserves to hear all the information that you have, because
Okay.
that's the point of expectations, right? People always have
Mm,
expectations, and so as a person that grows on their own or grows together with other bunch of people, maybe these people would like to learn the growth process because they're also on their journey, and so there is a learning process. And so a person that doesn't want to grow and is not interested in that information, you speaking up and explaining that is a waste of energy and a waste of time, and ergo they don't deserve it. uh Very crude, very cynical way of seeing it, but I see it this way because in a sense this is a sort of empathy, because they don't understand what you're going through,
mhm,
and so they don't have that awareness to partake in that growth. And by not offering the information, but not sharing it, by not explaining it, you are being, in a sense, empathetic to their feelings. Perhaps they will be jealous, perhaps they will be annoyed, perhaps they will be frustrated. They will cut you off maybe on their own because of all of these feelings. Just go back to school, bullying. Why does it happen? It's an inner sense of jealousy, of lack, of feeling less than others, and so it grows. So I do see that as a form of empathy. Um, you also spoke of the changes that happen. These changes that happen to us are usually based on our beliefs and our value system. And when our values and beliefs go back to the core of what they originally are, we tend to go to, okay, this is what I want, this is what I like, this is I enjoy this, I love that, I want to do this, I will do that. And all the peripheral information, to put it this way, all the peripheral friends, all the peripheral things that you usually partake in that waste your time are irrelevant. And it makes you just be there in the moment, right? And I'm not saying your friends and those years of love and cherish and fun and food and going to their houses and all of that is irrelevant. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying at that time of growth, people, no matter who they are, become irrelevant if they don't fit within the belief and value system that you have for yourself. And so that change, it becomes a constant. People either grow together or they grow apart. Your friends and people will grow. This is the social groups that you were talking about, finding yourself in different social groups. This is also another impact of self-development with friendships, right?
Mm.
You suddenly tend to move towards people that think similarly, like-minded people. You start gathering acquaintances, meeting up with people that, oh wait, did you talk about self-development the other day? What did you learn? Did you learn something new? Who did you attend with? What kind of courses have you had? And what was the impact that happened to you? And these conversations start to become more rewarding for your brain. They become more interesting, more curiosity arises in your mind to develop more, to grow more, to investigate more. It's an ongoing planting and sowing the reward. That's what happens with self-development and growth, that a lot of people, especially friends and family, that do not understand, those of us that do move through this process, through this journey, is we are not idle anymore. We are bored from idle. We are fed up of idle. We are seeking the next level of our humanity, to put it in other terms, whether it is in sustainability or helping others or writing or studying more, whatever the path may be for the person going through that self-development and growth, it has become the constant for us, most people. And that constant is changing. So we are also constantly changing, constantly improving, constantly changing our friends, because this group has something interesting. Then we go to another group. Oh, these people become friends because they have another group. And these friendships, they develop completely differently. Some of them are acquaintances, some of them are friends. You will always have, in my opinion, this is how I defined it, I think a while back. I have my very inner circle, which is maybe one or two people next to my family, where I can share absolutely anything, no matter what the circumstance. And then I have a wider circle, which includes friends that I can share certain things with, but not other things. And each friend has a very specific thing that I can share with, and others I don't share with. And then beyond that circle, you have the acquaintances, where you can discuss and share random facts, random things, or test out me. I test out things on people. Psychology doesn't help. So I'm always throwing bits and pieces here and there to see the reaction of people, their behaviors, how they interact. And these are your acquaintances. And then you also have above that, those people that you say just hi to and bye. And how was your day? Lovely. All right, have a lovely day. And that's it. So there's a lot of change and there's a lot of interaction that goes with self-development and growth, that those not on the path are unaware of. And I think this is an important uh, session for us today to have, where we explain all of that, not only to those that are following us, our audience, and those that are going through the journey of self-development, but to the others that are interested in understanding what happens in our minds.
Mm. Yeah.
I agree with you, Kamal and Carol Ann, when you say fostering self-awareness is very, very, very important. But for me, when it comes for friendship, it goes deep. If you say you're my friend, whether we have the same beliefs or we have different beliefs, we should be able to get along. I should be able to listen to your beliefs and you listen to mine without you wanting me to be like you. So that's what I call friendship. But I stopped worrying about people anywhere. When I had a problem with Lucifer occult, I realized something about people that, of course, people they want to be with you, but like Kamal was saying, a friend is a friend that you can share absolutely everything. That can be there 99, 1000% without judging you. So what I've realized with people that they want to be with you, but in their own terms. And so for me, I really don't waste time no more with people. I don't waste time no more because I used to see like Lucifer will go to this friend and then they sell me out. Or sometimes I'll have these pastors that they're praying with me. And then once he makes an offer for them and say, you hand it over to me without her knowing, you let help her to pray these prayers so I can connect with her. They sell me out because he's made a promise that he's going to give them something. So I realize that friendship is not what we expect it to be. So if you say you're my friend, it's got to be real. So I hang out with those people that are real. It's like even businesses, like you see people, they'll go to friendship. Like we had a business event with Des. No, with Sharon. Sharon did this business event, and it got the speakers, about more than 100 speakers together, and the people were speaking. But that moment after the speaking, everybody just turned just like this. And then it made me realize actually that sometimes friendship is not what we think it is. People, they hang out with you like in gossip talk shows. Kamau, and Kero Ani, there are people that they come, they join the gossip talk shows, but they're not really joining gossip talk shows. They want to be famous. they, so they're like they are here at the gossip talk shows, but really they're not serving the audience. They just want to be known. So those are the things, and they'll be like, "Oh no, sir, I just want to do this. I'm all in." I'm like a crop in my heart. I'm like, "No, you're not." And then they leave because you're not really. You accept them with all your heart, and then they feel guilty, and then they leave. So friendship is different. Is really really different. It's like you guys like your coaches, and at the same time you're part of the family. The way I see you guys, and but then you meet other people. They have these expectations, like Carol Ann said from the beginning, that you see people, they are like their friends. I always say, like, sometimes that's why you see people say my friend went off with my husband, or my husband went off with my or my friend, or the friend goes off with their friend's husband, or something, does these things. I'm like, because these people, they were never friends in the first place. You go and confide in them with your problems, and then they're like, they take advantage of that situation. So a friend, I always say, if God give you a friend, whether you don't see them for months, or you don't see them for weeks, or you don't see them for a year, that person stays with you regardless of what. And I have seen it myself. I've or friends that I've known for 30 years. Sometimes they disappear and go, they do their own things. My children still remembers them when they come back. I still remember them. They're like, oh, no, Salafi got busy. I had to do this, or I was going through that. Or sometimes you message them, they are really busy. And I don't hold anything against them. When they want to come back, they'll come back. And because life is life. And they're like, they are busy. Or sometimes you see people like the friends, like family members as well. Uh, you see, I set up a group once and I was talking to my family, and my brother said to me, why do you tell people, like when you're telling you set up the group, I set up the group personally, manipulating them to actually change their mindset to actually be the person that they're meant to be. Because sometimes my culture can actually hold somebody back by some people. They go into depression, they have this thing where I don't want to talk up to people, or I don't want to confide in anyone, or people are going to laugh at me. So I using psychology. My brother is like, you don't tell people. I'm like, you do realize that we're all bloodline, we're all family. And my success is my family's success, and their success is my success. You do realize that. So sometimes it is the mindset that, like you guys mentioned jealousy. I listened to somebody once, one of the speakers, and this woman, she was saying, sometimes when people being jealous of you, that means you are contributing through that jealousy. If you work hard, self-development, and you change yourself, you grow, that growth will contribute to jealousy to somebody. So that's why some people may come to you and say they don't want to hang out with you because they feel threatened. They feel they don't fit in with you. And they can't tell you. So you as a person, you got to be gentle with that person and try to find out why they feel that they cannot be around you. I find that most of the time people are being threatened, like they feel they can no longer fit in with you because of where you are with your mindset. So those are the things that they contribute. But mostly the expectations in this world, people have loads of expectations, laws about how life, how relationships should be. But if you're genuine, you enter somebody's life and you just want to know them, you just want to get to know them, and you just want to connect with them and just get to know why they believe the things that they believe. In that way, there is no expectations. You're just a friend, and anything that is genuine, it cannot be broken. So that's my belief. And this is what I stood like when Lucifer was torturing me. I was like, you can have my fake friends because anything that God has given me, you cannot take it. Anything. And I was right. Any friends that is real, true to me, he will go and manipulate them. They will not react, or they wouldn't manage to control them. But anything that is not for you, Kiro Anna or Kamal, you will know. I used to have there's a girl we used to go to church together. She used to tell her daughter that her daughter, she was like 16, and she would be like putting her friends' needs first. And she was like, these friends that you put them first, everything you do. Tell me when you're 24 if we are still together. Yes, yeah. She'll be like, tell me when you're 24, whether you're still friends. Because friendship is it goes deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you grow differently. So
Yeah.
like when you're at school or you're a teenager and then get into your 20s, you're a different person. And I think this is where my marriage fell apart because my ex-husband and I, we changed, we grew apart. And I started looking at other things and pursuing and And I had started a little bit, I hadn't realized how much that I had actually started on this personal development journey, but it was more, it was slightly different. It wasn't until I then went into started training in brain gym and educational kinesiology, did things really, shift. But before then, it was like little subtle things that I was meeting other people and I was having like Indian head massage, or I started having a McTimoney chiropractor and having meeting other people, and it was just subtle shifts. But I started to see things differently, and I could feel this movement of, drifting apart because we were growing differently. And he always said to me, well, you're too ambitious for me. And I was going, no, 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 no. And I realized, but yes, I did have ambitions. And I think I was becoming more aware of those ambitions being held back, even though I was one that would sort of fight against them. And I enjoyed that, digging my heels in and saying, no, I'm gonna do it anyway. Because I went on and I got my degree because he was very much, oh, no, no, no. What if we have to move and we're tied to that? And I said, oh, I can do it anywhere. And I had day release from where I was working at the time to do my Bachelor of Science degree in maths. And he didn't particularly like that because he felt like we were stuck. I'm going to have to stay in that one place. And I just said, well, I'm going to do it because I want to do it. And I did succeed against all sort of odds. And because I'd set my mind to do it, and I did achieve it, and I enjoyed it. I met some wonderful people in that period of 3 years. I met a few people. We did the course together, and yeah, I just started remembering them now as I'm talking, but I've never seen them since. you know, but I think it's just it's embracing these times and realizing that these people are in your life in that moment, and that you can move on, and it's okay to move on, and that marriages can fall apart if somebody starts to change and the other one's not as willing or able to change. It's maybe not that they're not willing, they're not maybe not able to in that moment, or it's not their journey. You've come to as far as you can, but that's where my ex-husband and I we parted company. And I often wonder, well, if we had stayed together, would I have found me like I have, or who knows? I don't know. Or would I have felt even more stifled? But even then, the friends that we had as when we were together, there's only one that I watch on Facebook. I don't really, we don't contact each other. All the others drifted away. And my ex-husband, he's only got one person who was really, really close with, and he's still close with. But I don't know that how many others stayed with him, So it does change, but it's also knowing that you can survive it, because that is the fear that holds you back. Think, oh, no, I've got to hang on here, hang on to this job that I know that actually isn't where I'm meant to be, or in this marriage or this friendship or this relationship. It's knowing when it's come to its conclusion, its end, and that you can't move together and grow, and that you will survive. It is possible. I didn't think I could survive outside my marriage. I didn't think I had to organize how my next step in my teaching career was going to pan out, because I thought, no, I don't want to do part-time, but part-time setting up my business, my own business. The universe had another idea. I had to let go of that because I went off ill, and I did end up leaving the school that I was in, but then managing to get a job in a sixth form college part-time. So all of a sudden I was part-time teaching and part-time setting up my business. So you have to let go because otherwise the universe will take over and it's not comfortable. It really isn't comfortable. I don't know how you find that, not Gamal.
Now, I'm translating it into different words you've expressed. However, to put it in concrete terms, you've expressed independence and or the lack of dependency on someone or some people, and you've expressed the growth of self-esteem. And these come also in that process of growth and self-development, right? And these, when you're not dependent anymore of others, they are insecure because you become more confident. You're capable of standing on your own. You're capable of doing things that you've dreamt of doing. People told you, no, you can't, right? It becomes you become a different personality, and so automatically, in a sense, you outgrow those relationships, whether they're intimate or friendships. It's not always easy and fun to outgrow relationships because you feel sometimes this nostalgia. Sometimes, not always, but you feel that sense of nostalgia, especially if it's a long period of time. But it's all part of that change and growth and confidence that one gains in that world, being able to set the boundaries and say, you know what, this is who I am, this is where I'm going, and this is where I will end up. And that's not even the end. This is just the first stage of that growth process, because once you get on that track, you're constantly moving forward, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you outgrow the next person, you outgrow yourself, and that's not enough. We need to go and delve deeper. And that builds more confidence and self-esteem and the lack of dependency that you were discussing here. And these are the things that you have to bear in mind once you decide to go on that journey. If you're already thinking of going on that journey of self-development and growth, lots of things will change. The interactions that you have with people, the interactions that you have with your family, the interactions that you have with your friendships, your attitude towards others will change. Your attitude towards yourself will change. Your behavior, therefore, will change. Yeah, the jealousy and and insecurities will be a thing of the past for you, and yet they will hang on those relationships, those people that you are leaving behind, because you are, in a sense, leaving somebody behind. You're taking the train and you're going on to the next station, but they are being left at that previous station. You're moving forward. You're going to the next stop, and then the next stop, and then the next one. So change is inevitable. And when you accept the change for yourself and the growth for yourself, some people will be left behind. Maybe it's sad, maybe it's not. I believe it's anything that happens in life is for the betterment of our life. And I've said it many, many, many times, no matter what the situation, no matter what happens, every single event in our life is for something better. No matter how sad, how cringy, how bad you might seem, bad does not exist. You are defining every situation. So the change of relationships, the change of friendships, the change of the outgrowing the people that you're with is part of that growth process. It's you have people that will inspire you and you have people that will drain you. It's up to you to choose which people you want to be with. You have people that are capable of, I think this was Epictetus, any person is capable of angering you becomes your master, and they can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by them. I think this is the quote from Epictetus. Yeah. Sorry, memory gap sometimes. This pertakes to relationship growth and emotional intelligence and the self-development part where they will be angry. If you get angry, you're not growing. If you allow them to anger you, you're not growing. If you choose them wisely, then you won't have to go through that process with them. And your confidence automatically grows, and that self-esteem is crucial for you to be able to, because it kicks in once you decide to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to continue. I want to grow. I want to learn. That's your self-esteem saying, hey, wake up. I'm ready. And the more you do that, the better it becomes, the higher it gets. And you find yourself on a stage alone, watching your friends or watching those relationships in the crowd becoming even blurry due to the spotlight being on you and you not seeing anyone around.
Mm.
I hope that's a nice analogy for people. Uh,
And
it's
it's okay to be there. I think that's the
absolutely,
main thing. You know, it's nothing to really be afraid of. It's just recognize what your fears are
yeah.
and work through them. And if you know you're meant to be in this place, then just recognize this is where you're meant to be. And actually, out of that blur where other friends sort of drift away, new acquaintances start coming who become friends. And it doesn't need to be a lot of friends. As you said, you've got a small circle, and it can be just one or two that stay with you.
Mhm.
They're the true friends. And, you know, I know like with my daughter, she had a lot of friends at one time, and she's got one true friend who she's known since primary school.
Yeah.
You know, that is worth its weight in gold.
Definitely.
The other friends have now started to fall away a bit, but
Mhm.
others are coming back again, and there's a few, but there's this one that's constant. And I think that's beautiful because that is worth, I know there's something really special about that. And
Yeah.
so it doesn't have to be lots of friends. One friend that sees you through thick and thin and is there and has got your back and going to put up with you, whatever's going on, you know, the distant, maybe they're not talking for a while, you're not in communication, and then get back in communication and
Mhm.
okay, you pick up, but they're there. And so it's, you know, don't worry about not having lots of friends or the friends that drift away or the fact that you've had to move. You've maybe moved to somewhere else because you've changed jobs. And that in itself is a personal development. That's a growth. You've changed jobs. You've moved somewhere else. So you've lost all of those people you knew at work. Some might have been friends, but you might have classed a lot of them as friends. But how many of them actually follow you or stay with you? So were they more acquaintances at the time? Long-term acquaintances that got to know you more. There's not an interim, isn't there, between acquaintance and a true friend, and there's like a middle ground friend, so to speak. Like I think, as you were saying, Kamal, as you put your ring circles out. But it sometimes it can take time to find new people, but and it only needs to be one or two. You know, get rid of that idea. If you've got that idea of, oh, you know, there's a lot of people out there waiting, I want to meet them, but it's only just one or two start creeping in because you're being true to yourself and you're just getting out, socializing, doing what you like to do and love to do. And it's amazing who starts to just pop into your life and where life can then take you. So I think I'd just like to leave people with this quote I found. I found a few quotes, but this one I think is wanting to be said. Friendship is a reflection of a shared journey of growth and discovery. As we honor each other's evolving interests and values, we create space for authenticity, acceptance, and mutual empowerment. So I think it's recognizing it's the two-way thing of a friendship. So
Very nice quote. Very nice quote. It's I'm gonna leave the audience with my own words um today for a change. Um on a on your path to self-development and growth, the only friendship worth keeping is your own.
Nice. Mm.
Yeah, I think, Kamal, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I listened to one of my pastors said to us one day, he was like, when you truly, truly have a problem and you come to me, and as a father, as a friend, as a brother, and you want me to help you, I wouldn't help you the same way like you help yourself or God will help you. I'll help you temporarily, but as time goes, I'll start complaining, I'll start mourning because I'm human. I'm not supposed to do that, but I'm human. So I agree with Kamal. The friendship that you have is yourself. And if you have children, as your children as well, and with God. For me, I put my trust in God, guys. Anyone that says, no, sir, I'm your friend, I'm this, I'm like a liar. Honestly, I'm like a liar. I'm like a friends, it means a lot. But mind you guys are saying that I've realized in my village I don't have friends. That's the because all I did was spending time with my granddad with music and traveling and stuff. But I think that is the bad part of it. I'm trying to be different with my children. They do lots of things, but I help them to stay with their friends. But truly, truly, honestly, there are some people, for me, I leave you with this. You are the creator of your destiny. You are the author of your story. You write your story. You can rewrite your past, edit your past, rewrite your present, however your life you want it to be. So if you have friends and things are not working out, please don't get wind up by friends because they are distractions. Sometimes friends can be a distraction. Like Carol Ann was saying, for me, true friends, I've had friends for 20 years, 30 years. And these people, they don't give me no trouble. If I'm busy with my journey,
Mm.
they come along with my journey. They're like, no, so how can we support you? But you have these that are here for full time. They just want part time. They want something from you, and they cause trouble. So just know that you are the creator of your destiny. Life is between you and your God, and walk that journey. If things are not working out, life is not working, just find the one champion. There could be one friend that is a champion. That is everything. Like at Ngosi talk shows, I have 3 or 4 people that I know they have my back, regardless of what. If I'm busy, like if my children get a job, acting job, I don't have to say they know I'm at Ngozi talk shows. I know I'm gonna pick up my phone and say, Carol Ann, you are in charge tomorrow, or Kamau, what are you doing? Could you please take my place? I know that. So you don't have to worry about friendship with people because sometimes it's a distraction, and also people come in our lives to teach us something, or they come for a season and then they go. So don't worry about it. Me, I've been told off by friends so many times. So I don't worry about it. So God bless everyone, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. I might be here tomorrow, I might not be, I might not. So I'm still figuring my schedule, but Amanda and Granty are going to be here 100%. So I'm still figuring my schedule. How is it gonna work out? I'm going to Sky today, so I will see how my schedule is like tomorrow. Have a meeting tomorrow. So, but I might be here or I might not. But if I'm not here, guys, I love you very much. I definitely am gonna be here on Thursday with the Claudia. So God bless everyone, guys, and
Yes.
live with grace.